select Sauce Gardner.
Sauce Gardner is a New York Jet!
Swaggy Sauce Gardner.
I love Sauce. I love his tape. I love his press technique. I love his confidence. He has everything you want to see in the position. And I think Robert Saleh in this scheme is perfect. It's a hand-in-glove fit for him, man.
Garrett Wilson.
It's Garrett Wilson! The New York Jets have just got two big-time playmakers!
I believe that Garrett Wilson is going to be the most impactful rookie receiver in this class. And I think we see Zach Wilson play like he did the last 6 games of the year, times 10, and have a phenomenal second season.
What, you think? Yeah! Yeah! Let's Jermaine Johnson!
Brees Hall, running back, Iowa State.
Brees Hall, oh my God, they got him! They went offense. They went with the best running back in the draft. Jeremy Rucker, oh my God! The Long Island native is a New York Jet! Jet-E-T-S! Jet! Let's go!
Yo, what is good, Jets Nation? Welcome back to Jets Media. It's your boy, Richie, and today is not Victory Monday. For the first time in 4 weeks, that we are not celebrating Victory Monday. That's sad. So, in today's live stream, we're going to be breaking down what happened yesterday for the New York Jets against the New England Patriots. What went wrong? What do we need to improve on? Let's break down the game from start to finish. The positives, the negatives, all that stuff we'll be breaking down in today's live stream. And of course, we'll be getting into live callers so you guys can come in at the end of the show to voice your frustrations with this team after their loss to the New England Patriots, their long-hated rival. And we can't freaking beat that team. But don't worry. We got another chance week 11. We got another chance week 11 against this team. And I'm excited to see what this Jets team does throughout the rest of the year and how they handle adversity. So welcome to the stream, everybody. Hope you're having a fantastic Monday. Happy Halloween. And let's get it started, man. Hit that thumbs up button on your way in to the show. I really appreciate each and every one of you guys tuning in to another Jets Media live stream. We saw a rumor this morning from Peter King. I made a video on it on the channel already, that the Jets are rumored to be interested in edge rusher Bradley Chubb, and that could cost around a first-round pick. I don't know if Joe Douglas is actually going to make that move, but we'll definitely be talking about that as well on top of the Jets game yesterday. So let's get right into it, man. Let's start off with the game. Well, this is what the stream is going to be about. And shout out to everybody in the chat, of course. We appreciate each and every one of you guys. So I think we all understand why we lost the game yesterday. Zach Wilson. He lost the Jets the game. And there's no sugarcoating it. Zach Wilson had 3 pivotal turnovers that lost the Jets the football game. Now, the thing that really frustrates me about this game yesterday is that we had such a big-time chance to win. And I'm not even just saying that. It all happened right after the JFM penalty. And I'm still not over that, by the way. I'm still not freaking over that John Franklin Myers roughing the passer to take away an 84-yard pick six of Michael Carter II. Right when that, and the weird thing about this game for Zach Wilson, and we're going to get into the really deep stuff about Zach in this game, but the really crazy thing about Zach Wilson, a game yesterday, is he started off the game very well. To the point where I'm like, wow, this might be the Zach Wilson game. He was hitting the first completion was rolling to his left, threw across his body to Tyler Conklin for the first down, and then he rolled to his right, threw a bomb to Garrett Wilson for an explosive 54-yard gain, and then he throws a touchdown pass on third down to Tyler Conklin, and he has like 150 yards and a touchdown, and you're like, okay, Zach, could this be your game? But then, at the end of the first half, he throws his first interception, and you're scratching your head. Terrible, terrible mistake, terrible throw. And then the second half comes around, and then he looks the way he did. So, all the positives that we saw from Zach Wilson does not matter because of what he showed us in the clutch when we needed him to step up the most. And he was unable to do that. It was still a winnable game in the fourth quarter, by the way. The defense gave this Jets team every single opportunity to come back. They allowed 1 touchdown and 5 field goals. And those 5 field goals was because of field position. The special teams was trash. The offense was trash, which allowed the defense to have to step up their game even more like they did. So Zach Wilson, he's got to grow up, man. There's no more babying the quarterback. You're allowed to baby a rookie, right? And what I mean by that is you can allow him to go through growing pains. And he is still young. He's still in year number 2. He just played his 18th career game. But when you're a quarterback for the New York Jets, you have to play in a way where you're not losing the Jets games. And the 4-game winning streak with Zach Wilson, what was so beautiful about it was that Zach Wilson was riding off of the elite Jets defense and the elite special teams and the elite running a game, and he was managing the games perfectly to the point where he was not losing them the games. Now, he won us 1 game against the Steelers, but in the 3 games after that, he didn't have to do anything. Just manage the game, make the throws that we need to. But for whatever freaking reason, Zach Wilson's kryptonite is the New England Patriots. He becomes a terrible quarterback against them. And like 7 of his career interceptions are against the Patriots. So now I know a lot of Jets fans are sick of Zach, and some people want Mike White, some people want Chris Streveler, some people want Joe Flacco. And you guys can have you can believe any of that stuff, right? We're all entitled to our own opinion. But I'm going to allow this season I'm going to give Zach Wilson the season before I'm ready to pull the plug. I personally think it would be a mistake to just make a quarterback switch this week. Now, that's not me saying that he looked good yesterday, because it was all the good that we saw from Zach Wilson yesterday we can't even talk about, because he did have one of his most impressive throws of his career against the Patriots yesterday. But we can't even talk about that because he is the reason why the New York Jets lost the football game. And if you're a quarterback for a team that is 5-2, and you're the reason why they're losing because of boneheaded, and I mean boneheaded mistakes, then it's time to have a conversation. So that's really my initial raw take about this game. We're going to get deeper into it as the stream goes on. We're going to hear from Jack. He's joining the show shortly. And I want to hear your guys' thoughts as well about Zach Wilson, because obviously he's going to be the talk of the stream. He's going to be the talk throughout the whole week, because the Jets team is talented enough to be competitive and push for a playoff seed. Hey, guys, just a reminder. We lost. We're 5-3, and the Jets are still the 5th seed in the AFC. And we got a big test on Sunday. All right? If I told you that the Jets were 5-3 through week 8, heading into the Bills game, I think everyone would have signed up. So this Jets team just lost their first game in a month, and we're coming off a bad game from our quarterback. So let's see what this team can do with adversity and how they can push through it and resolve. Let's see it. So, guys, if you're just tuning into the show, we got 84 people watching with 21 likes. Please do me a favor and hit that like button, guys. It really does help out the channel a ton. Hit that like button, everybody. Please. It would mean a lot to the channel. Thank you very much. Greg, with a $2 donation from Canada, says Zach Wilson for Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, I don't think that would happen. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. All right, so we're going to hear a word from the sponsor of this live stream, which is Mojo. As you guys are aware, Mojo is a stock market for sports. And you could download the app with this QR code. Even if you are not located in New Jersey, I still recommend you download the app, because I live in New York. And I have the app on my phone, and I've been having a blast seeing who's the top risers, who's the top fallers. So scan this QR code right now, download Mojo, and you can get prepared and get a good understanding of how this app works before it comes legal in your state. Now, if you live in New Jersey, you can trade today. So if you see the top risers and the top fallers for the Jets, the top risers are Tyler Conklin and Garrett Wilson. Tyler Conklin had a very good day. Tyler Conklin had his breakout performance. Tyler Conklin had 6 catches, 79 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He looked really good, man. And it's really cool to see that we're finally getting a tight end involved in this offense. Zach Wilson hit him for his 2 touchdown passes. The first touchdown was a great throw in a tight window, and it was a great catch from Tyler Conklin. The second touchdown was great as well So Tyler Conklin had a very good day, and now he is up 10% on the Mojo stock market, which is a really big incline, as you can see. Garrett Wilson, he had his best game of the year since week 2 against the Cleveland Browns. He went up 3.95% on the Mojo stock market. His stock is all the way up to $14.45. If there's anybody on this team that I have the most optimism in, besides Breece Hall, obviously, because he's down for the year, on the Mojo stock market, it's Garrett Wilson, man. He is the wide receiver number 1 for this team for the future. He is so talented, and it's cool that when Corey Davis goes down, Garrett Wilson steps up into that prototypical number 1 option role, and he comes through. Reliable, 7 targets, 6 catches, 115 yards, averaging 19.2 per catch. He had that 54-yard catch, which was a ridiculous route. If you watch that route, he literally just gets lost behind the Patriots defense. And then Zach Wilson put it right on the money on the run. Excellent throw from Zach Wilson on that play. So these are the 2 players that I think are going to continue to rise as the season goes on. Now, the 2 players that are trending down on the Mojo market, you guessed it, Zach Wilson and Elijah Moore. Zach Wilson plummeted only 4.21% after his performance against the Patriots. And then Elijah Moore, he's just going to keep going down. I mean, what is going on with Elijah Moore? That's another thing we got to figure out. We'll start off with Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson obviously was the reason why we lost that game on Sunday, so he's not going to rise, right? He had a career-high 355 yards, but that means shit because the Jets lost the game because of Zach Wilson's turnovers. So Zach Wilson's at $32, and if you feel like Zach Wilson still has upside in this league, which I do not see anybody in this chat that I feel like is going to want to invest in Zach Wilson, you can. And if for all the people in the chat that is so anti-Zach Wilson and think he's a bust, put your money where your mouth is. Invest on Zach Wilson's downfall. I bet you won't. So download Mojo today, and you can invest on your New York Jets to rise or to fall. And Elijah Moore, he's at $11.65. He went down 3.62%. I mean, he got 1 target, and he had a press conference where he just, I mean, that really frustrated me with Elijah Moore, man. When Zach Wilson was asked about the situation of Elijah Moore, Zach Wilson had his back. He said, we love him. We're going to support him. Zach Wilson had nothing but glowing things to say about Elijah Moore during the whole trade nonsense. And then someone asked Elijah Moore his thoughts. He's like, oh, yeah, I don't get the ball, so I don't know. Like, come on, Elijah. So he's dropping. The Jets obviously don't have him as a pivotal piece of this offense in terms of, like, game plan-wise. So those are the 2 people that are rising, and the 2 people that are, 2 people that are falling are Wilson and Moore. 2 people that are rising are Tyler Conklin and Garrett Wilson. So again, guys, scan this QR code on the screen right now. Download Mojo. Even if you do not live in New Jersey, you can still have fun. Look around the NFL. Who's the top risers? Who's the top fallers? I've been having a lot of fun with this app. I'm sure you guys will as well. So I appreciate Mojo for sponsoring today's video, and I'm excited to continue to see who's rising and falling on the New York Jets on the Mojo stock market. I think Garrett Wilson's going to be up to $17, $18 by the end of the season. So you definitely want to invest in Garrett Wilson now so you can make some money before he rises. So again, shout out to Mojo. We appreciate the support of the channel. And now we're going to bring in the special guest that I promised you guys to get his thoughts of the game in our guy, Jack. What up, Jack?
What up, man? How we doing? How we feeling?
How you doing, my friend?
Obviously been better. I would say, this is obviously a tough one, man. It sucks that it had to come against the Patriots. But we were due for one, right? We were due for a loss. The fact that we won for a month straight is insane in itself. So we were due for a loss. Does it suck extra because it was against New England? 100%. 100%. It feels like shit right now. There's no way around it. But hopefully we bounce back. I mean, it's not looking good against the Buffalo Bills coming up.
Upsetting coming.
And then we got a bye week, and then the Patriots again. So
again, revenge.
So we can go from having a great month to a shit month real fast. So who knows, man? But Yeah, definitely a brutal game.
Yeah, I mean, no sugarcoating it, right? I broke it down before you came in here, Jack. The first half was excellent, leading up into the end of the second quarter. Obviously, we saw Jack and I were talking about it this morning. We're like, wow, a quarter and a half in the game, we're like, oh my God, this could be Zach Wilson's game. He's playing excellent football. And then we know what happened with Zach Wilson. So let's just break it down, Zach Wilson, Jack. I want to hear your guys' thoughts because he's the talk of the stream. He's the talk of the chat. Let's bring up his stats from the game. Zach Wilson was 20 of 41, 355 yards, which is a career high, 8.7 yard per attempt, and 2 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. And those 3 interceptions are the reason why the New York Jets lost this football game. So, Jack, what was your biggest takeaways from Zach Wilson? What does he need to improve on to really, show improvement and prove to Jets fans and to the fan base, and more importantly, to the Jets organization, that he could still be the guy? Because right now, Zach Wilson is not proving to be the franchise quarterback for the New York Jets.
Yeah, that's just the sad truth, man. Because even before all the turnovers came in bunches yesterday, we haven't really seen Zach Wilson light it up this year. But I didn't have a problem with that because he was protecting the football and we were winning games by playing defense and running the football and Zach making a throw when he needs to. What I have a problem with is the 3 turnovers. That's a recipe for disaster every single time. What I will say though is that I think it's 3 fixable turnovers. I still do think Mac Jones 100% had the worst throw of the day with what should have been a pick 6 to Michael Carter II. Yeah, I mean, just
I'm still not over that. That
no.
lives in my brain. And that was such a big turning point of the game, man. But continue, Jack.
Yeah. So, we never fully bounced back from that, obviously. But going back to Zach, I need him to, treat the football as if it's like, a golden egg or whatever. This isn't BYU. He's looking way too casual out there. And he's just nonchalantly throwing the football where he thinks is out of bounds, and then all of a sudden, McCourty comes up and makes his first interception of the day, and then we had another one to McCourty after. The first one was inexcusable as well. I mean, you got to just take care of the football, man. He's just way too casual with the football in his hands, and it's I wish we've gotten to see the positive end of that spectrum so far this year. Unfortunately, we haven't. But his play style, if he just takes care of the ball and doesn't make the stupid decision with the ball, he should be able to light it up. I mean, we saw him doing really well before that first pick yesterday, and then it was just all downhill from there. But he's 100% got to take care of the football better. He's got to get rid of the ball sooner. We're not getting much help from our offensive line, and in a lot of plays, it seems like we're not getting a lot of separation from our guys downfield either. But Zach Wilson's got to be able to, it's awesome that he can escape and keep a play going, and he has that mobility and escapability. But we saw yesterday where it bites you in the ass when you're too carefree and you think you can make something out of nothing. And, he's just got to be more careful with the football. I'm not calling for Zach Wilson's head by any means. I'm going to give him the rest of this year. And we're going to evaluate what he can do. He knows the clock is ticking now. So we're really going to see, what Zach Wilson can do in these games moving forward. We're down Breece Hall. Obviously, we're still getting Robinson into the mix, familiarized with the playbook and stuff like that. But, nothing really too explosive out of the run game yesterday. Garrett Wilson looked good. Tyler Conklin was very reliable. But it comes down to those 3 big plays, and then really the pass interference, roughing the passer rather, from JFM on the other side of the ball. I mean, 4 plays yesterday is really the story of that game. It's the roughing the passer and each interception by Zach. And that's not how we're going to win a game. And we still made it close, man. This team still has a lot of heart and a lot of fight. But we're not going to win any games with Zach Wilson throwing 3 interceptions.
It's that simple.
Inexcusable. It's inexcusable, man. Those were 3 horrible picks. I think it's fixable, but at the same time, inexcusable that it happened. But I wouldn't be calling for Zach's head, guys. I really wouldn't. We got to give this guy time. We got to remember the injury-ridden offseason and first 3 weeks of the season that he had. I'm not making any excuses, but I just think it's listen, there's no getting around it. He had an awful game yesterday, but I think it's too soon to write off who Zach Wilson is going to be as a player in the league. So I'm going to give him more time. I'm giving him the season. I'm all in on what Joe Douglas is planning on doing for this team. So I'm giving Zach Wilson the season for sure. And I'm excited to see what he can do. But it was definitely brutal to see what he did yesterday.
Yeah, it was absolutely brutal. And I feel like, the two crushing losses that this Jets faced last week was Elijah Vera Tucker and Breece Hall. And we felt that, man. We felt that. First of all, the offensive line was terrible in both the run game and the offense in the pass game. Offensive line just simply played bad. The offensive tackle, Cedric Ogbuye, was trash. Dwayne Brown was getting pressured, allowing pressures here and there. And Zach just can't handle it, man. And all of his turnovers were from pressure, and Zach couldn't handle it. And which is why I agree with you, Jack, where his mistakes are fixable. Because it would be a different story, guys, if Zach Wilson had a clean pocket and he was stepping into his throws and just throwing terrible passes and it was getting picked off, right? Obviously, he hasn't been perfect. He has some bad throws in the pocket, but I feel like, and this is me being hopeful, it's not guaranteed, but these are fixable mistakes. He needs to learn to take care of the football. He needs to realize that this football in his hand is the most important, prize of this entire season, the entire organization, and he can't be careless with it. And what he showed yesterday is he still has an instinct to him where he tries to be Superman too much. And when you try to be Superman, it will work, but most of the time it's going to be a disaster. So he has to throw the football away. And he tried to throw the football away and result in an interception. And that's just ridiculous. That is totally inexcusable. If you're an NFL quarterback and you're trying to throw the football away, you throw that football into the sideline. You do not throw that ball in play. That was a disgrace. So we could break down all three of his interceptions all we want, because that is the reason why the New York Jets lost the football game. Because you talk about the defense. They did everything they possibly could to win that game, man. Everything. They gave up 1 touchdown and 5 field goals, and all the field goals they gave up was because of crappy field position. The special teams was atrocious. The Patriots started with an excellent field position around the 40-yard line every single time. So the Jets defense had no help, and they still did their job. 6 total sacks. They were pressuring the quarterback. They were not perfect. They could not. I would like to see them get better on third down.
That was brutal. I'm glad you mentioned that.
But, listen, we're praising the Jets defense, but they still have their own kinks and bruises to work out, especially on third down. But the fact is they gave up 1 touchdown, and that was from just a crazy drive in the first drive of the second half. And they gave up 5 field goals. And I think those field goals that was given up was because Zach Wilson turned the ball over, and they had excellent field position. And the special teams just bad punt coverage and bad punts, which gave the Patriots really good field position. So the offense and the special teams lost the game. Most importantly, the quarterback. The defense did their job. And this Jets team has been winning games because of their running game, because of their defense, because of their special teams. And all 3 of those aspects were not all in sync. The defense did their job. The running attack, by the way, was not there. So that's another thing I want to bring up, Jack. We do not have Breece Hall. We do not have AVT. We go out there and get James Robinson. The running attack was not there. I mean, we ran the ball 12 times or 15 times in total. Michael Carter barely did. He had 1 good run. James Robinson had a couple of touches, and they just simply abandoned the run. And they gave Zach Wilson the ball 41 times to throw, and it didn't work. So if you can't stick to the staple of what this Jets team was doing to get that 4-game winning streak, and they try to switch it up and try to, become an air-raid offense, there was some flashes that it would work. That play in the beginning where Zach rolls to his right, fires at the Garrett Wilson in stride, 54-yard bomb. You like to see him capitalize in the red zone for a touchdown instead of settle for 3 there. There are a lot of things to work out, but I just feel like Jets fans need to understand that this Jets team has a big opportunity here to show what their true identity is and how they handle adversity. And this is a really good idea of what this Jets team can do with adversity. Because if you thought that this season, after being 5-2 heading into this Patriots game, was going to be all perfect and we're just going to just win every game and be close in every game and there's going to be no more adversity, then you're just living in a fantasy, man. Football is a game of adversity. Injuries are going to happen. And the unfortunate reality right here is the worst possible scenario that Jets fans have dreamed of is not dreamed of, right? What we've feared is the quarterback not playing good football down the stretch and not being the reason why we win, but being the reason why we lose.
Yeah, that's something that I think we kind of have to come to terms with is I think, there's obviously more to the story than just Zach Wilson's 3 picks yesterday. But I think Zach Wilson is ultimately the reason why we lost that game yesterday because we were constantly, the field position battle was bad enough with our special teams struggling for whatever reason. I mean, Braden Mann, are you going to be consistent or are you not going to be consistent? Because one week he's amazing. He's been doing good for a nice little stretch now. And then yesterday I was like, what do we get? A guy from the local high school to
And it
punt?
was so weird. It wasn't even just man. Zerline missed a kick. The punt coverage was bad. The kick coverage was bad. It was like everything.
It was brutal. But then, obviously I think what it comes down to, especially because you mentioned the running game, this is the first game without Breece Hall. This is the first game where we really said, okay, we need Zach Wilson to go out and win us the game. And the fact that he threw 3 ducks and did, the opposite of that, I think that's the lingering storyline. That's why a lot of people are calling for his head already.
I got to throw in JFM too. I mean,
100%.
Listen, the penalty, right? We can't agree with the penalty, but the reality is it's 2022, and you see how soft this league has become. You see the roughing the passer penalties across the NFL. It's not just the Jets that are dealing with this issue. It's other teams around the league. So John Franklin Myers needs to be better because what did we saw last week? I remember this perfectly, that LaMarcus Joyner interception. Quinnen Williams got the quarterback pressure, and when Ripon got rid of the ball, Quinnen Williams just literally dipped to the right to avoid to hit the quarterback, to avoid roughing the passer. And John Franklin Myers had no freaking right to hit him. Now, was the ref's explanation just ridiculous, saying he hit him too hard? Yeah, ridiculous. I don't agree with the call, but John Franklin Myers is not the first time he has this issue. He did it against the Cincinnati Bengals. That is a big-time problem that he continues to have this mistake. Mac Jones got rid of the football. There was a good full second, and I watched it on replay. John Franklin Myers did not have to hit him that way. He could have just went out to him and just hugged him, or just tapped him. But he literally just pushed him to the ground. And you got to be better. Why are you making that play? And that is the biggest reason why this Jets team lost the game. I know that after that, it all went downhill, and Zach Wilson's to blame. But that was such a big-time pivotal moment of this game that keeps reliving in my head of celebrating a Michael Carter II pick 6, and then right when you see the flag, it just guts you out. It just sucks the life out of you, and it sucked the life out of the MetLife Stadium. It sucked the life out of the New York Jets organization, and Robert Saleh was livid. I'd love to see the passion and the fire from our head coach because he called a timeout just so he can get the ref over here to get an explanation, and he was so freaking pissed off. And I'm happy that we have a coach that really cares that much and really has that much fire and desire. But man, it's just that play is going to be looked at as the downfall of that game for sure, outside of Zach.
100%. I mean, I still think it comes down to those 3 picks from Zach because we had opportunities where, we were down a score, or we were down 10. And, we can easily have gotten right back into the game. And then there was that. But definitely a huge game-changing mistake from JFM. Really just egregious. You can't be doing that. I mean, obviously we hate calls like that, but first of all, we'd be begging for it if we were on the other end of it, we'd be pissed if that was Zach and that wasn't a call, first of all. And second of all, you just got to be better. You made the example with Quinnen Williams, and JFM's got to be better. This is not the first, penalty of JFM's career. He's kind of notorious now for penalties, I feel like. So he's got to clean up his game, man. And the third down defense as well was brutal. We made Ramondre Stevenson look like, Barry Sanders out there. It was making me sick. And I love the defensive line getting after it, but the fact of the matter is that they didn't get after it in the big moments. Feels like every 3rd and long was like I was just waiting for the Patriots to convert it again. And we obviously
Played
had
like excellent
opportunities.
defense first and second down, and then fell apart on 3rd down. That's what
Yeah, and we obviously had our opportunities here and there. We forced that turnover on downs. Horrible throw by Mac Jones. The fact that we lost to him and he looked so bad is another thing that just makes me sick. But that first drive, I think after the half, I mean, it was just, the Patriots first of all, started with amazing field position once again, right? Started at like the 40. I'm like, okay, here we go.
And then
And all of a
Stevenson,
sudden, before you know it, they're in the end zone. And it's 13-10. And then the wheels just fully came off, and Zach became turnover city. And it was brutal from then on out. But yeah, there's obviously, there's 2 sides to the story, man. There's 3 in this case: bad special teams, bad defense in the crucial situations. We'll throw penalties in there with that defense, and then obviously bad quarterback play. You're not going to win the game, and that's what we saw yesterday.
and it's just so infuriating because like the offensive line has to play better, but at the same time, Zach Wilson has to learn how to handle the pressure better. And those 2 things can both be true. And the reality is the Patriots were they were like barely blitzing. They would send some blitzes. Like they didn't confuse Zach Wilson. It wasn't like the Patriots defense did anything that was like so awesome and like made Zach Wilson. They might have forced him into mistakes, but I think the Jets lost this game. Patriots didn't win it, right? The Jets handed this to the Patriots. Like, let's just bring ourselves back into the second quarter. We're up. We're winning 10-3. The vibes are high. Like, we are winning this game. We are dominating on defense. We're scoring touchdowns. Everything is going up. And then Matthew Judon gets into Zach's face, and Zach Wilson throws off his back foot and floats up a terrible pass over the head of Ty Johnson, intercepted. And then the defense was this close to bailing out Zach Wilson. This close with that pick 6. Doesn't go our way. Patriots settle for 3. And then, like you said, Jack,
Brutal.
The Patriots go out there and just storm down the field and get a touchdown 13-10. Okay, we got a ball game, right? Hate to see that. Patriots are winning. And then the offense has a chance to respond. They were moving the ball. Zach had a lot of yards, 355 yards. But the timing of the interceptions and the way those interceptions happened, he needs to learn how to handle the pressure. So, right, it's that simple, man. When Zach Wilson has pressure, and it's up to the O-line, and it's so hard to like, I don't want to sound like, I don't know how to word this. Like, it's so hard to blame the offensive line because of the injuries that we have. Like, we literally have a practice squad right tackle that we signed off the street in week 4 playing. Do I have to bring up the injuries that we've had on this offensive line? Mekhi Becton done for the year. Dwayne Brown out first 4 weeks. George Fant done. Max Mitchell done. AVT done. Those are freaking big-time deals. Cedric Ogbuye playing right tackle, signed off the street. Bum. So, both things can be true. Offensive line did not help Zach Wilson, and Zach Wilson did not handle the pressure properly at all. He has great escapability. Like, it's kind of mind-blowing that Zach was only sacked like once or twice because he's just making plays. He's making plays, making people miss. But then Zach tries a little too much, and he tries to force it down the field. And I think that is a fixable trait.
Yeah.
And I really believe that. I think Zach Wilson, I'm not saying he will 100% do this, but if this Jets coaching staff is legit, they got to really discipline this player. Say, Zach, these will get you out of the freaking league if you continue this. You cannot be this careless with the freaking football. If you're this much pressure and the offensive line's not helping you and you have to make all these moves athletically, which you're gifted with, we can all agree that Zach Wilson is a talented football player. But it's the decision-making that's going to make or break his NFL career. And right now, he's not making the right decisions, and he's gifting W. He just gifted a W on a silver platter to the New England Patriots, being that careless with the ball. And that's really what it comes down to, man.
And it's I want to say this, and I don't really know how to word it, but it's not like baseball or basketball where like a player can suck it up for a month and a half, 2 months straight, and then get into a zone. Like we have 17 games in a year, so it's really tough on Zach Wilson having to evaluate this performance When he's coming off, even though he wasn't lighting it up, the dude was 4-0. The dude's now 4-1. He's had one really egregiously bad performance, but that's the game we see this week. And we have to wait a whole week to see the next performance, So this whole week, it's going to be Zach Wilson sucks, Zach Wilson sucks. And then if somehow Zach Wilson does well against the Bills, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if somehow it does, everybody's going to be praising Zach Wilson again, and the Jets are going to be back, and yada, yada, yada. So it's a really tough league to evaluate individual players that way because we get one game a week. Obviously, Zach was dealing with injuries. We didn't really get him in the preseason. We didn't get him for the first 3 weeks of the season. So right now, it's like Zach sucks. But as soon as he gets his first, good game and a win, everybody's going to be loving it again. So I just, I think it's really tough to completely write it off. But obviously, all we're dealing with in the next 6 days is this horrible performance. So it's going to sting. But it's a tough league to evaluate players in that regard.
And we have a very passionate fan base that has been through hell. I mean, for a long time. And we know when we see bad quarterback play, and when a bad quarterback happens, they have no patience and they don't want to give time to a quarterback. And I understand all that. But I'm at a point in my Jets fandom life at 24 years old, watching this team for my entire life, where I can sacrifice patience. I'm giving Zach Wilson this season before we start having the conversation, right? If Zach Wilson plays the way he did yesterday for the rest of the season and he starts losing us games, he's a turnover machine, we're not winning, we have a losing record and all that stuff, that's a conversation that I'm ready to have in the offseason. But right now we're in the freaking season. And for people that are saying bench Zach Wilson for Joe Flacco and bench Zach Wilson for Mike White or Chris Streveler, I just cannot disagree more with that. You got to see what you got in your second overall pick from last year. That's exactly what you have to do. You have to let it all play out. You have to see what you have in your investment. You don't just bench your investment and he rots on the bench. Yes, is this team a quarterback away from being good? Yeah, they are. And is that a bad thing? No, because it's a very good problem to have because that's how talented this team is. Now, is the quarterback position the most important position on this team in football? Of course it is. But the fact that we're sitting here talking about how good this team is on defense and how much talent we have on offense and how well this coaching staff has been preparing this team on all three phases of the ball in a grand scheme of things for the season shows you that we are a quarterback away. So I personally, and like Jack said, I agree with you. I would like to see the rest of the season from Zach Wilson before I'm quick to just pull off the rug and say, start Mike White. Because Mike White had one great game. A check down game that was phenomenal. He's in the Hall of Fame. And then he goes out there and stinks against the Buffalo Bills. And now he's actually elevated, which is a very interesting move, by the way. Mike White is the official backup for the rest of the year. They demoted Joe Flacco to the third string. I don't know if you saw that, Jack, but I thought that was very interesting. But that's really my thoughts of this quarterback situation. You guys in the chat and Jets fans everywhere have every single right to be frustrated with the quarterback play. Every single right to be frustrated. But I cannot get behind people saying that the Jets should bench Zach Wilson. I just can't. You got to see what you got in your second overall pick. You got to let it ride out. And I'm sorry, Jets fans, but we're 5-3. And we have a defense that can make us competitive in every single game this year. Even the Buffalo Bills. Now, will be the biggest test of the year, defensively speaking, how this defense can hold up against Josh Allen. But you got to be able to see what we have in our second overall pick in year number 2 before we pull the plug. I'm sorry for everybody that's like screaming for people's jobs and stuff, but it's not happening. 5-3.
Absolutely, man. I think you made a great point with, you got to ride it out for this year and probably next year with Zach Wilson as well. You used the second overall draft pick on him, man. So he will definitely be our quarterback moving forward. I'm sorry to all the crazy people in the chat, but like Zach Wilson is going to be the starter.
Go root for another team if you're that frustrated, man.
Like I don't
really
know.
It's like
Zach Wilson will be the starter. Like there it is.
Zach Wilson's a starter for the rest of the season, no matter how good or bad he plays,
100%.
Bearing an injury.
I love Mike White. We were at the Mike White game. Like I couldn't be more of a fan of Mike White, but I do not want to see him in the game over Zach Wilson at any time.
The Jets believe in Zach Wilson. And now, if Zach starts like literally becoming like just a turnover machine, 3 interceptions a game, and just being the reason why we're losing every single game for the rest of the year, then yeah, that's a conversation that we have to have. But yesterday, there was a lot of good, but way more bad. Way more bad than good. So that's what I'm trying to say. If he made no plays yesterday, Jack, if Zach Wilson went out there and was missing throws everywhere, had another game where he had 110 yards, and no complete, like low completion percentage again, no touchdown passes, and 3 interceptions, it'd be way more of a bigger deal. But the fact that he did step up and did have a good first half and did make some good throws, it gives me some type of belief. And it's not saying that I think it's going to happen 100%. Sorry that I still have some optimism in this Jets team to get it right. I'm sorry if I'm a Jets fan that's being a little more optimistic at 5-3 than you guys are. And I just have an optimistic perspective. If you want to have that toxic trait, then go be yourself. I don't give a crap. But I'm going to ride it out with this team, and I'm going to believe in this coaching staff because what we've seen from this team is that they can deal with adversity. We have the first 3 games with Joe Flacco. Zach Wilson comes back, and we're riding it out, and there's a lot of injuries to this team to deal with. So there's a lot of things that needs to be worked on with this franchise for the rest of the season, and it really is up to Zach Wilson because this quarterback and Zach Wilson, he has a lot of proving to do. And when you're in the New York market, there's a lot of eyes. A lot of eyes are on you, man. The whole world's watching. And when you make a mistake, it is magnified 10 times. And you make a good play, people are like, yeah, all right, well, he still stinks. So
I think we gotta give the kid his time, man. We do 100%. I mean, look what Daniel Jones has been able to do this year. You know, everybody laughed when the Giants drafted Daniel Jones,
and he was trash.
And he's been making some throws this year that I'm like, wow, that's an elite NFL throw. So we got to give him his time. And I'm honestly shocked to see how many people in the chat are like ready for Zach Wilson to be like gone, like right now.
Oh,
it
yeah?
really is crazy to me, man. Like I didn't feel like it would be this way.
Oh yeah.
It's
welcome to welcome.
Like it's insane, man. I'm kind of shocked.
Yeah, man. Listen, we are very. This is what it comes down to, Jack. We are a very passionate fan base, and when Jets fans see a bad quarterback with a talented team around him, they want change immediately. They don't want to see. They don't believe that he'll change. They think that it's going to stay the same, and you guys are entitled to think that way. You guys have every single way. But he just finished his 18th career game, and not every single quarterback comes out of the league and just lights it up. And Zach Wilson, and if you cannot admit this, then I just think you're just blindly hating the kid. He's a talented quarterback. Talented quarterback. His issue yesterday was decision making. It's that simple. If you don't think he's talented, I don't know what to tell you. And I said this going into this year, by the way. I said Zach Wilson has all the physical tools you'd want in a quarterback, but what's going to make or break his second year and what's going to make or break his NFL career is up here. Can he read the field? Can he go through his progressions? Can he have the right fundamentals? Can he will a team back? Can he make the right decisions? And right now, the mind is not connected with the talent. The talent's got to connect with the mind, and that's the issue right there. And that's what happens with a young quarterback. So the big question I have for Zach Wilson is he going to be able to develop that mental aspect of the quarterback play, which I think is the most important part of being a quarterback in this league. Physical talent as a quarterback does not win you games. And that's my point. You got to be able to understand the game and make the right decisions and not be careless with the football.
Yeah. I mean, that's 100%. You know, I'm not going to sit here and say that Zach Wilson, you know, didn't play horrible football yesterday. He did. And he had 3 inexcusable interceptions. And I think they're 3 fixable interceptions. He's got to be better with the football regardless. But I still think Mac Jones had the worst pick of the day yesterday. Like I really do. And call me nuts, whatever.
Michael Carter II would have won AFC Player of the Week if that standard.
Those 3 picks from Zach were inexcusable but fixable. And I think that, you know, moving forward, I do have confidence in Zach to bounce back. And I think that he will. I really do. I'm not going to sit here and say that he won't, man. I mean, we're 5-3. We have so much football ahead of us. Like, let's see some football. Let's see some wins. Like, everybody's calling for the downfall of the quarterback, and it's crazy. So I'm all in on Zach. I don't care. It's a horrible game. It came against the Patriots. It sucks. But I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to sit here and say that, yeah, he's terrible. He's going to play like he played yesterday for the rest of the season. Look at the offensive line. Look at the lack of separation downfield. Obviously, inexcusable interceptions, but fixable interceptions, 100%. Mac Jones had the worst pick of the day yesterday. That should have been a touchdown. There it is.
I agree, man. I ain't sleeping on Zach. The mistakes he made are very fixable. Rory agrees with you, Jack, and I agree as well. I really think that the mistakes that he's making is a fixable thing. I would love. I said this to Jack yesterday. I would love to see the adjusted completion percentage of Zach Wilson if you take away all the throwaways out of bounds. The amount of times I've seen Zach Wilson run around like a madman and somehow does not get tackled and get sacked and just throw the ball out of bounds for an incompletion is insane. And that is the testament how bad this O-line has been protecting him. And it's also been a good trait to Zach, but now it's turning into a bad trait if he cannot handle it enough and not be able to throw the ball out of bounds. And also, no one seems to be getting open for Zach after these extended plays so he can throw the ball down the field. So
there's a multitude of factors. Obviously, we saw very bad individual play from Zach yesterday, but if you want to break down all the injuries on the offensive line, you can. If you want to break down what's going on with our receiving core and maybe the play calling, you can. I think that obviously the loss of Breece Hall was huge. The loss of Elijah Barrett-Tucker was clearly huge. There was a lot of things, stacked against Zach yesterday offensively. Obviously he did nothing to help that. And I'm not saying he had a good game by any stretch of the means. I'm just, I'm not bailing on this kid by any means necessary at this point at all.
So let's talk about what he needs to improve on. How can this quarterback step his game up? I mean, it's simple. Protect the damn ball. That's how he won. And I said going into this game, and you can say this about any football team, any game, but especially against the Patriots. The Patriots are notorious for capitalizing on mistakes. That's exactly what they did. So if Zach can just continue to protect the football, I mean, it's a lot easier said than done, right? Because remember last year, early on in the season, he threw like 9 interceptions in like 5 games. And then he comes back from injury and goes 5 straight games with no interceptions. So he kind of like throws a lot of picks in bunches. So my hope is he got it all out of his system. And now he's going to have to go up against a very good Buffalo Bills defense with Von Miller going to breathe down his throat. And guess who might be back for the first time this season? Tre'Davious White might be making the season debut. Mm-hmm. So he's going to be shadowing Garrett Wilson everywhere. So that's not going to be fun. And Frazier is an excellent defensive coordinator, knows exactly how to exploit the weaknesses of this team. So listen, man, it's simple what Zach needs to improve on. It really is. Feed Denzel Mims. Shout out Mims, man. Denzel Mims, talk about a player who requested a trade and handled it way better than Elijah Moore, because Mims had a reason for the trade request, because Mims wants to play, and he's in his 3rd year, and in preseason, he knew that he's not going to be active for every game unless there's an injury. So he kind of had a reason to want to be traded. He wants to play football. He's in the best shape he's ever been in. He feels like the best he's ever felt mentally and physically, and he did a very nice way. His agent went public, said, hey, we were very respectful with Joe Douglas. We would like to be moved because Denzel wants to play. The Jets tell him no because we value you as depth, and he put his head down and he works. Didn't hear from Denzel. His opportunity presents himself when Corey Davis goes down, and Denzel Mims had a great play yesterday that gave this Jets team a chance to come back and win. So I'm excited to see the development of Denzel Mims. I hope they get him more involved. I think Denzel is showing that he is a big piece to this team if they just get him involved. It comes to the offense around Zach Wilson helping him out, but of course it comes with Zach Wilson. So what was your biggest impression, Jack, from the playmakers around Zach Wilson and Garrett Wilson? Tyler Conklin, and Denzel Mims, the 3 leading pass catchers for the Jets?
I thought that, Garrett Wilson seems legit. Obviously, he's been quiet for a little stretch now, but the whole passing attack was pretty quiet. It was looking good, man. Before it wasn't. Before that first interception, man, we were all thinking it. Oh man, this is the game we've been waiting for. Here we go. That throw to Garrett Wilson was beautiful. That camera angle where you just see Garrett Wilson running and then the ball just like appears right at his numbers. It was just gorgeous.
And it's like I tweet that out, right? I tweet that exact thing you're talking about. I'm like, oh my gosh, Garrett Wilson is good. And then I'm like, and this was a dime from Zach Wilson. And then in the comments like, oh, Zach Wilson. So I'm like, oh, I can't compliment a freaking throw that our quarterback made. That was a very good throw. Sorry for freaking saying anything good about my team. I apologize for giving a quarterback his duty for making a crazy 54-yard throw on the run. Like, that's a play that I dream about for a Jets quarterback. And yes, of course, I'm not saying that play, the turnovers justify it, but my apologies for saying that was a good throw on Twitter. My apologies.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's at the point where, I think the same people that are hating on Zach right now are probably the same people that were like, oh, you didn't turn it over for the last 6 games of the season. And, looking good for year 2. And now that like the first bad game of the year comes along, it's everybody wants him gone again. So it's just, I think, obviously I love Jets fans, but it's I think it's really, really going too hard on Zach now at this point. If he continues to play this way, for sure. But I think that, this is the first game that we've seen him really be reckless with the football in a while. So, it's tough. Like I said before, that this is the game we have to think about for the next week. And then we get the Buffalo Bills, and then we have a bye, and then the Patriots again. So we, hopefully Zach picks his game up. We need him to pick his game up 100% because we have a very tough next 2 games. But I think, in terms of, I believe you asked the playmakers around Zach, correct?
Yeah, hold on. Let me just get to this V-Man super chat. Read the tweet I DM'd you. All right, V-Man says, during the Jets' 4-game winning streak, we averaged 30 rush attempts, 142 yards per game. In the 3 losses, we averaged only 13 rush attempts for 70 yards per game. So it's obvious that this Jets team was built to be a ground and pound team. Now, is that a problem, Jack? No, it's not a problem that we built this team to be a ground and pound team. That's a staple of how this Jets team was. The last time the Jets were good, that's how they won football games. And the reality is we're losing when we can't establish a run game. And that is a detriment to the quarterback because the running attack is not going to work every single time. So what's your thoughts of that stat?
Can you read the specific stat again?
So the Jets' 4-game win streak, the Jets averaged 30 rushing attempts and 142 yards per game on the ground. And in the 3 losses we have this year, we've averaged only 13 rush attempts for 70 yards.
I think it's getting away from the game plan. Well, I think week 1 and week 3, I think, what did Flacco pass? Like 59 times in the home opener?
Yeah.
Or something insane like that.
Elite stuff.
But when we are at a point where we're trying to come back in the game, we have to get away from that game plan. So I think this, we have to get better at adjusting, and that goes to the coaches as well as the players. And I think that hopefully Zach is able to do that. And I also think that clearly we're seeing how truly talented Breece Hall and Elijah Barrett-Tucker both are. A depleted offensive line. Breece Hall was absolutely killing it. And we go out and we trade for James Robinson. But he had no time to get into the offense and understand the playbook and all that type of stuff. So I think that he'll definitely not fill the role that Breece left, but definitely become a bigger part of this offense and hopefully contribute a lot more. And we can get this rushing attack kind of back up and running. And I think that, obviously a crucial penalty yesterday. was the game-altering thing before the picks. We could have been up 17-3 at half. So little moments where this team just needs to improve. But overall, I mean, I still really like I love how this Jets team has been playing football this year. When you lose two of your best offensive players, your two best offensive players, and then, leave it up to your second-year quarterback to go out there and light it up, sometimes this is what's going to happen. It sucks that it happened at home against the Patriots, but sometimes this is what happens when you're depleted on offense. So overall, obviously it was a terrible game. Zach needs to improve. Offensive line needs to improve. We're going to get James Robinson up and running. We have a tough slate of games coming up. But it's not the end of the world. I'm still riding high on the fact that this Jets team could be above 500 going into the bye. Will be above 500 going into the bye regardless. So that's
I remember going
pretty
into the
awesome
year,
to
Jack.
me. If you asked me before the season, if you told me
going into the season, I said if we can get to 4-5 before the bye, 4-5 before the bye, that is a good thing. 4-5 before the bye, and we're gonna be 5-4 at worst. If we pull off the upset of the year, then we'll be 6-3. But I think Jets fans can all agree that's going to be a very tall task going up against one of the best teams in the league, in the Buffalo Bills, that is unfortunately in our own division. V-Man with another super chat. Thank you so much, my friend. He says, we need more balance on offense. Wilson is still in game manager phase. Cannot expect him to throw 41 times and rush only 15. Yeah, I was kind of frustrated that the Jets abandoned the run. I also feel like the run wasn't – I mean, there were some times where I do have to criticize LaFleur at times where first down and 10, they ran the ball for 7 yards, 2nd and 3. And then on 2nd and 3, they pass, incompletion. 3rd and short. They pass again, punt. I like to see them run the ball on 2nd and 3. So there are some things that you can criticize with LaFleur as well. He was not perfect. But I feel like the Jets need to be a more balanced team. I couldn't agree more with you, V-Man. You got to be able to run the ball. And when you cannot run the ball, this team simply is not going to be able to win a lot of games.
Yeah, man, I agree. Like I said, when we get away from the game plan, it's tough.
Yeah, man. And what's been winning us games this year has been the defense and the special teams and the run game and protecting the ball. And only one of those things was working yesterday, and that was the defense. I mean, can we talk positively about this defense yet, or is that still not allowed because we have to be criticizing everything? Because this defense, bro, Sauce Gardner had another phenomenal day. DJ Reed, phenomenal day. Carter II had an interception, should have had another one. The defensive line had 6 sacks. I mean, they were doing everything to will this team back, man, in the fourth quarter as well.
Yeah.
I mean, the defense literally gave this Jets team every chance to come back. We were down by 9 points, and the Jets defense gets a stop, force a punt. The Jets defense gets a stop, forces a punt. And it's like the offense is like, all right, it's only a 2-score game, offense. Just go down the field and score a touchdown. Is it that hard to do that? And unfortunately for the Jets, it took until like 3 minutes left in the game for them to get their explosive play to Denzel Mims, which resulted in a touchdown to Conklin. And then Braden Mann tried a trick. I mean, that onside kick attempt, I don't know what the hell that was. It was like, I don't know. He tried to kick it like behind his leg. I don't know. It was really weird. But you can't really bank on the Jets to recover another onside kick. That's asking a little too much. Woo! So, hold on. Jack was lagging a little bit.
Yo.
What up, man? Jamie says, Jets defense is my favorite part of the team. I sure love me some good defense. Me too, man. And listen, want to talk about this defense real quick, Jack? Big test. Biggest test of the year is against Josh Allen. I don't know if I'm not expecting this defense to shut down their offense, but it would be nice to contain them.
And I think it's possible, man. I think it's the biggest test of the year for Sauce Gardner as well, with with Stephon Diggs. So I'm really, really excited to see that matchup. That's going to be awesome. If Sauce Gardner can lock down Stephon Diggs, man, woo, I'm here for that. But obviously Josh Allen is just a problem. Like he's such a freak for.
We have Mac Jones running for first downs, and we weren't even game planning for that. But now the Jets are obviously at the game plan for Josh Allen running, and I hope that they're ready for that.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely going to be a problem. Josh Allen's
he's going to make me want to, oh my gosh, the live stream on Sunday, I'm going to be, I can just already see it. It's like 3rd and 6, pivotal moment. The Jets get pressure. You're like, come on, get him. Freaking get him. And he's just like, ooh, I'm Josh Allen. And he's just running around, juking people out, and he just gets a first down. And you're just like, God damn. Like, I can already see it happening.
Yep. But I think that, the defense, they didn't play perfect yesterday. Obviously, crucial penalty. 3rd down defense was pretty poor. But, we got after it in terms of sacks, interceptions, lockdown coverage from Sauce and DJ Reed a lot of the time. And I think that, this defense is the heart of this football team, man. And they need to continue to play at a really high level in order for us to make something out of this year. And if, I just hope to the football gods that they stay healthy, man, because our offense has already
big. We escaped no injuries yesterday.
Our offense has already been decimated, and we need these corners. We need CJ. We need Big Q and the rest of the boys up front to stay healthy and keep playing at a very high level. Loving what I'm seeing from Sauce Gardner, man. I mean, like the confidence that we have in this rookie already.
That screen
lined
pass
up against
that he
anyone.
ate up.
You're like, oh, the Sauce on the guy, like it's fine, Like
every time I see the ball just being thrown in that side of the field, I'm like, right, and it's just like blanketed. He's just like, I'm like, wow, I've never had this much confidence since Revis, and I don't want to put that expectation on him this early in his career, but it's just how I feel. Seriously, how I feel. Speaking of the defense, Jack, I want to get your thoughts because I talked about it earlier on the stream and I made a video on it. There's a rumor today, as you saw, that the Jets called the Denver Broncos about Bradley Chubb and expressed interest. Now, does that mean that the Jets are 100% trading for him? No, it does not. All that means is Joe Douglas is working the phones and he's trying to see the prices and he's trying to see what what's going on. So would you think trading for Bradley Chubb, and they said it could be worth a first-round pick, also knowing that the Miami Dolphins are the other team interested, do you think that would be smart for the New York Jets to sacrifice a first-round pick for Bradley Chubb, who's 26 years old, who's a Pro Bowler, and give him a long-term extension?
Oh, man, I don't know, dude. I don't know. That's a really tough question. It really is. Part of me says let's go, because that's like a win now type move, although it's really not, because we would give him an extension as well, as you said, but we would be all in on this season. But part of me also says, I love what Joe Douglas has been able to do in the last couple of drafts, and I don't really know if I want to give up that first round pick, I mean, we'll see. I think it would be obviously a great move for the defense. I just don't know if I want to give up that pick. So I'm on board with whatever Joe Douglas decides to do, whatever he thinks is best for the team. I think he's put us in a great position in terms of assembling a young core for this roster on both sides of the ball. I'd be hyped up if we got him for sure. But I'm not dying to go out and get a guy for a first round pick at this point.
Yeah, I'm not expecting it to happen. I think it's just some smoke that's getting pushed around, even though it is very reliable source from Peter King. But it is interesting because that tells you that the Jets that could be the first blockbuster trade that Joe Douglas makes in his career, where it's like, we're giving up capital for a player instead of giving up a player for capital. And James Robinson doesn't really count because that was just a 6th round pick. Jeremy says with the $5 super chat, thank you, my friend. Fant and Mitchell are back next week to help mitigate the Bills. Def next week and replace JFM with JJ next week. We should be able to compete. Yeah, so help is on the way for the offensive line. Max Mitchell is eligible to return. Hopefully he's okay and he can play. Max Mitchell is a very positive part of this team early on in the year, and he had to go down. So let's hope that Max Mitchell can come back and Ogbuye can be latered and the offensive line can get somewhat going. I mean, there's no replacing AVT. And hopefully Jermaine Johnson is back as well, because Jermaine Johnson is having a very good rookie season up until he got injured. He has a sack and a half. He's been great against the run. He's been a good rookie. And I think Vinny Curry has stepped in his role very well with the veteran, but we need JJ. And we're not going to replace JFM with JJ. JFM had the biggest mistake of the day. He also had a sack. So, yeah, man, what's your thoughts? With Phantom Mitchell potentially coming back to help the offensive line, and Jermaine Johnson could be help coming back as well.
I mean, it's definitely a positive. We'll see what Fant's got left in the tank. Max Mitchell was playing good before his injury, much better than expected. So yeah, that could definitely help out the offense, help out the running game, help out Zach Wilson, all that good stuff. Jermaine Johnson coming back as well. I'm excited to see him play, and see if he can, bring a presence off the edge. It's kind of been, I feel like, a little season of ups and downs so far for Jermaine Johnson. Hasn't really made a huge impact. He's obviously dealt with some injuries. Hopefully he comes back now ready to ball, and he has a good rest of the season, stays healthy, and we can really evaluate him moving forward. But it's definitely big that these three guys are coming back. Sucks that it's against the freakazoid Buffalo Bills, who just look like an insane machine of a football team. But it's a division game. Hopefully we play them close. I'm not saying we're going to come out with a win, but again, the fact that we're heading into bye week, no matter what happens next game, above the 500 mark is sick, man. It's dope. So
it really is. And
I'm all in,
sorry
baby.
for anybody
I'm all
that's
in.
offended by that statement in the chat that we're speaking on a New York Jets team. Like, this is what gets me frustrated sometimes about our fan base. We have been waiting years and years and years for us to be a competitive football team and winning. And when we're finally at 5-3, there's still people out there that are just like miserable. Like, bro, we have been
it's
we
wild.
have been the disgrace of this league for years and years and years. And our moment is finally here of having an identity and a culture being set by a head coach that I personally believe in a lot, and a real grown man in charge of Joe Douglas, really assessing this roster perfectly. And we're 5-3. Like, the sky is not falling, man. It really isn't. I understand that we might have a quarterback issue, and that is definitely an issue that we need to talk about. And we've talked about it for an hour plus. We're not avoiding the conversation of the quarterback controversy, because there is one right now with the Jets. The misery is, it's ingrained in us as a Jets fan base. And there's Jets fans that's been around the misery longer than us, Jack, because we're fairly young, I guess, 24 years old. But like, we're better than that, Jets fans. We've waited years for us to be able to talk about being above 500 by the midway point of the year. So please take a second and like evaluate this season. Look at the job that Joe Douglas has been doing and the adversity that this team is facing and how they're going to battle with it. Ride with the team, okay? Pump positivity in this team. Don't bring this team down and just be a reason why, because I always strongly believe, and it's not just the Jets, but it's the New York teams in general, whether it's the Knicks, whether it's the Mets, the Yankees, it doesn't matter. But the big market, I think a fan base and the media is a big reason why New York sports has not been good for a while. It's because we are such a passionate fan base with a crazy media market that when something goes bad, it's the most toxic environment ever to survive. So please, help this team through adversity. Don't be the reason for their downfall, okay? That's what it just drives me
Amen,
crazy,
dude.
bro.
There's some craziness.
It drives me freaking nuts, the stuff that I read online. It really does. It's like, you're better than that. Don't be that fan base that is just oh, God. Sorry, Jack, talk. I'm just going to get pissed off. I'm just going to keep going on a rant. It just drives me nuts, man. We're a better fan base than that, man. Get behind the freaking team. Be with them through adversity. Don't start clowning on this
agree,
team.
and I'm kind of
Fire Salah. I can't believe I saw Fire Sala stuff in the chat yesterday. I was like, yo, like, are these trolls or they actually freaking believe that? Just be miserable somewhere else, man.
It is unbelievable. And
we've been through too much to feel this way at that point.
It's unfortunate. And obviously it's because of the trauma from losing for the majority of all of our lives. But this team is different, man. And if we are a quarterback away, so be it. If Zach Wilson doesn't end up being the guy, so be it. But, I mean, what do you want to do at this moment right now? You want to start Mike White or you want to start Joe Flacco? Like, I don't even understand the argument. I really don't even understand the argument. It's baffling to me. You know, we got some homies in the chat. I see Hennessy speaking some truth. It really is insane how quick, sitting at 5-3, how quick people are to
do you remember where we freaking came from? We already have more wins this season than we did all of last freaking year. Now, am I saying that we should be, you know, happy of yesterday's loss? No, that's not what I'm saying. Jets fans have every right to criticize this team when they lose. But the toxic stuff, that is what really rubs me the wrong way when we have a fan base that's so freaking quick to turn on players and coaches after a one bad game. One. We went through a fucking month of winning. 4 weeks straight. Allow this team to handle the adversity internally. Okay? Allow this team to go through the adversity in the building. Allow Robert Saleh and the coaching staff and the front office to deal with the injuries and to deal with the bad plays and to deal with learning on the fly and adjusting. This fan base on Twitter drives me crazy. Like, when we win, it's all amazing. It's all amazing. But when we lose, it's like this, like, it's just, oh, God. And I knew this was coming, by the way. I told you, Jack, I'm like, God, Jack, we're on a 4-game win streak right now. But when we lose, it's going to be toxic all over again. And people are just going to forget all the good stuff. We're just going to forget all the 4-game winning streaks. We're going to forget all the great things that's been happening for this franchise. And now everyone's going to be back to square one. And yes, of course, we talked about all the bad things. Don't make it seem like we're avoiding the negatives here. We're not. We talked about how bad Zach Wilson looked yesterday for an hour plus. So don't give me that crap. We're talking about what needs to be happening, and we're a fan base that brings up the bad things when it's happening and brings up the good things when it's happening. But my point stands, and my point is, and if you don't agree with me, don't agree with me. That's completely fine. I've been doing this long enough to handle that. Just don't be a fan. Actually, I'm not even going to say it anymore. You can be a fan however you like to be a fan, all right? I'll leave it at that.
I love this, dude. I love this for you. I really do, because you're always, you need to let it out. You do. And
I have
this time it's not at the team. It's at some toxicity that we see within members of the media, within the fan base. I haven't been on Twitter a whole lot this year at all for that reason. I really can't do that stuff anymore. And even seeing some of the stuff I've seen in the chat today, you know, nothing about me personally, obviously, I don't give a shit about it, any of that. But I mean, ripping Zach Wilson apart, ripping Robert Saleh apart, the fact that this team is sitting at 5-3, when everybody had doubts about what this team would be able to do this year. We're going to be above 500 going into the bye week. I mean, it really is genuinely ridiculous how everybody just wants it to be torn down after one bad game. And, you know, yes, it was on Zach Wilson, but it was also on a terrible third down defense, an egregious penalty by John Franklin Myers, and the worst special teams I've seen in a long time from the New York Jets. So, you know, I'm not taking the blame away from Zach, but there's 3 phases to a football game, and every single one of them played poorly yesterday and resulted in a loss for the Jets. So it's, you know, did you guys expect us to lose 3 games on the year, or like when we started out hot? Like, obviously we're going to lose at one point. Like, it sucked. Like I said multiple times this stream, it sucks that it came at home against New England. We can't find a way to beat New England. Nobody hates that more than me. I was seething at my television yesterday watching Mac Jones run for a first down on like 3rd and 6. I wanted to jump through the screen and destroy him. Like, I was pissed off. But I don't think that, it's the season is alive, everyone. Like, here we are.
The Jets are literally the first place team in the wild card of the season ended today, by the way.
Like,
Fifth seed.
it's so ridiculous that, like, what's happened today with all the and yesterday, obviously, post game, with all the shots that are being taken at this young developing team, with the second year head coach, and it's, I mean, I don't really know what else to say, man. It is ridiculous, though.
Hey, man, maybe we needed this to happen, because I remember seeing the craziest nonsense after first couple of games of, like, fire Jeff Ulbrich, Robert Saleh stinks, all these things. And I'm sitting there live, like, hearing everyone saying fire Ulbrich, and I'm criticizing Ulbrich, but I'm not saying fire him. Like, people are just way too quick, just freaking have no patience. Like, get rid of him. I don't want to. He sucks. Well, how about the defense now? Right? So maybe the Jets needed this. Maybe we needed the entire fan base. I don't want to say entire, because there's still a small percentage that's not doing this. But maybe we needed the majority of the fan base to turn on the Jets again, turn on Zach Wilson, so that a couple weeks from now, we can be laughing at those people. I don't know. Am I saying that's going to happen? No, I'm not. But I'm just bringing myself back to what I freaking heard at the beginning of the season of seeing fire Jeff Ulbrich t-shirts being sold and everyone shitting on him and crapping on Robert Saleh, where in my perspective was like, yeah, they're struggling defensively. Ulbrich's got to be better. Saleh's got to be better at his defensive coach. All these things. But I'm not so quick to fire the guy. You got to give this team and this coaching staff time to work out the mistakes. If you don't give them time to work out the mistakes, they will never, ever, ever, ever be a good team for the future. Do you guys realize that? Do you guys realize that it takes time to learn from mistakes? You don't learn from a mistake after one freaking week. You learn from mistakes after weeks at a time, seasons at a time. And I'm sorry that it takes time. I'm sorry that is the reality. I didn't make this up. It's the way the world works, okay? That's how it works. It's just how it freaking works.
I got that boofy connection right now, man. I don't know what's going on. My bad.
It's all good, bro. Dev comes in with a $10 donation, says, spit your facts, Richie. These fans are delusional. Come on, it's one game. These things can clean up, and hopefully it does. Zach does need to play better, but it's one game. Thank you, man. Thank you. I agree with you. It's one game. Things can be cleaned up, and Zach Wilson needs to play better. That's it. That's what I'm saying.
I agree,
man. Thank you for $10, man.
Thank you, Dev. And I don't know, man. I think we've spit it from every angle. We've said everything we could possibly say. Like, what else? Like, the only real argument is, okay, would you rather have Mike White in there or Joe Flacco in there? If the answer is yes, then you're delusional and the argument's over.
Yeah, like, well, that's my thing. Like, okay, you think Zach's a bust? You think Zach is done? Okay, what's your answer? What do you want the Jets to do? Trade for who?
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson? Get Derek Carr?
Silly.
Like, what's the answer here, guys?
Silly.
Listen, you have every right to be frustrated with Zach Wilson because he played bad yesterday. He lost us the freaking game. But what's the answer if you just want to move off of him after 18 career games? Now, Mike LaFleur, he has some cleaning up to do. But if you want him gone, I'm not even gonna touch on that. I am not gonna even touch on that. And I'm seeing people on Twitter saying, go get Derek Carr and all these things. I'm like, holy crap. What are we
Go
doing?
get Derek Carr.
All right. Now's the time.
Tired. Can I just say something real quick? I'm so tired of tearing it all down. Here we are sitting at 5-3.
Exactly. Like, how many times do we have to tear this stuff down?
Give it time. Give it time, man. I don't care that, it's New York and whatever. You give it time. Like, look what Joe Douglas and Saleh walked into, bro. I know, Joe Douglas has obviously been here longer than Saleh, but look at the team that's been assembled, full of yes, talented guys, but so many young, inexperienced guys. And people are like, yo, like we lost the game against the Patriots. Like, are you kidding me? Like, what's going on, dude? Like, I don't care that it's the New York marketplace and you need to be good. Like, we need time. LaFleur needs time. Saleh needs time. Zach Wilson needs time. Like, I really like. Who else are we throwing in at quarterback? Like, it's literally insane. You want to go get Derek Carr? You want to get Mitch Trubisky? Like, what do you want to do? Like, it's so ridiculous. Like, constantly wanting to hit the reset button. It's like absurd.
And the reset button is the reason why we are so bad.
I know. It's
Because
crazy.
we have an owner in the Johnsons who are finally being patient with their hiring of Joe Douglas and allowing him time. And you give Joe Douglas time, and you're seeing what's happening. Joe Douglas is doing his job. He can't handle the injuries, but Joe Douglas is doing his job. And when you allow a couple of years of Joe Douglas to work his magic, here it is. And yeah, the Jets have sucked for a long time, and that's why everyone's impatient. But at the end of the day, this is the second year of this coaching regime, and they have a winning record through the first 8 weeks. I mean, what more do you want from them? Do you want them to be undefeated right now? Like, how unrealistic is this? Like, where is the mindset? Like, where do the Jets fans want this team to be? They just want to be undefeated. They want Zach to be superstar. They want everything glorious. Well, sorry, newsflash, is just not happening. This team is coming from being a joke of the entire league for years. It's not going to happen overnight. Okay? So if you guys want to come in here and talk your crap, voice your frustration, come on here, agree with me and Jack, disagree with me and Jack, talk about the Jets. The floor is yours. Click the link at the top of the chat to call in. We got two people waiting right now patiently as well. I'll get to you guys in a bit. And also, guys, help me out to get 100 likes. We have 85 likes with 154 people watching. I appreciate all the support on the channel, guys. Everybody that's seeing a passionate Richie and Jack today, listen, it's all love. Nothing is personal with anything. It's just we're very me and Jack are passionate with this team, and everybody in this chat is passionate with this team. So we're just trying to work out the kinks and bruises together. So the support on this channel means a lot, guys. So I love you all, and let's go Jets. Okay, this is all love as always. So please run up the thumbs up button, everybody. We greatly appreciate that. So we're gonna get to the first caller of the day. We got Caden. What's up, buddy?
What's up, Richie? What's up, Jack? How's it going?
How's it going, man?
It's going well.
All right.
I'd say.
I'll only be on here for a couple minutes. Just want to talk a little bit about the game yesterday and a couple trade deadline questions for you guys.
Of course.
So we fought yesterday. We were in the game. The defense, except for maybe one drive where they let up some points to the Patriots. Other than that, the defense was really good in general. It was a bend but don't break defense for most of the day. They allowed the field goals, but also that's because the offense couldn't do a damn thing to keep them out of, to help the defense at all.
Agree.
But the defense, they fought. Overall, we did move the ball on offense in terms of Zach got 350 yards. That is good in general. The receivers were really good. It really just does come down to the simple fact that if Zach doesn't have those turnovers, we win the game. And this leads into my question for the trade deadline. I saw multiple stats from Twitter on people like Michael Nania. You know who he is. They do all the stats in general for just Twitter. Of like throughout, not even just yesterday's game, throughout multiple games showing that when Zach has a clean pocket, or at least when he's not being forced out of the pocket immediately, he's accurate and he's getting the ball where it needs to be. So this is my question. What would you guys rather do? Would you rather take a piece like a trade asset, a pick or something like that, and go out get someone like Jack Conklin, Laramie Tunsil, a tackle that's out on the market? Or would you rather wait and have Max Mitchell or Fant come back this week and see if they can be able to help out the offensive line enough where Zach isn't immediately getting flushed out of the pocket in the first few seconds? Because I'm personally scared this week with Von Miller because he's a freaking beast. So if that was happening against Matt Judon and a good Patriots defense, think of what's going to happen against the Bills. They're one of the top defenses in the league, if not the top. So I want your opinion on that in general. So
yeah,
hopefully
that's a great question, Caden. Everybody in the chat answer that question that Caden has. He basically is saying, with the trade deadline approaching, do we have trust in Max Mitchell and George Fant coming back to help out this offensive line, or would you rather the Jets go out there and trade for Jack Conklin or Laramie Tunsil to get some offensive tackle depth because the offensive line is so injured. It's like ridiculous, really ridiculous.
And one more question that I just remembered. What is your take on Elijah Moore right now? Honestly, I mean, I have my Elijah jersey on right now, but at this point, I don't know. Like, I love Elijah's talent. He's so good. Like, he's a freak route runner, but the coaching staff obviously doesn't want him on the field right now. And like, is starting to become a bit of an Odell, like a diva. So like, do you trade him for another wide receiver, trade him for picks in general? Because also like at this point, like I would rather like not have the distraction, but also with Corey Davis injured, I don't want to like to deplete the receiver room that much. Like Garrett Wilson can only do so much, and I don't really want Jeff Smith on the field that much.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, another great question.
like,
So Jack, I'll allow you to answer. Which question would you like to answer, the O-line or the Elijah Moore?
All right, I'll do the offensive line, and then you can handle Elijah Moore. I personally would rather wait it out. I want to see, Max Mitchell is another Joe Douglas draft pick. I want to see if he's able to really be an anchor out there while he's healthy. I think George Fant has played a lot of good football for the Jets. Some more recently, not so good football for the Jets, but we can't forget what George Fant has been able to do, for this team throughout his tenure here. So with those two players, I'd personally rather wait it out. A guy like Jack Conklin or Laramie Tunsil, that would be a big time Joe Douglas move. Like I said earlier in the stream, I'm going to support any move that Joe Douglas makes, no matter what. But I personally would probably rather wait it out. We got Mekhi Becton waiting in the wings as well. We'll see what Joe Douglas decides to do with the offensive line in the upcoming draft, because he'll definitely be taking at least one. So I'd personally rather wait it out.
Yeah, I mean, Caden brings up a great point, and I love that you bring that up because it's true. Zach Wilson, sorry to offend anybody in the chat, but Zach Wilson is a very good quarterback this year when he's protected.
He's totally different in general. When he has the time, he's actually pretty accurate and can sling it in general. And we've seen that. It's just,
and what do we see against the Pittsburgh Steelers, Caden? We
Exactly.
saw an offensive line in the fourth quarter that protected Zach Wilson. What did Zach Wilson
Look
do,
at Miami,
Caden?
too.
He brought
He
the
got
team
over
back
200
in
yards,
one
didn't have the most flashiest game, but did they even allow a sack against the Miami? Well, they had one or two, but like still in general, Zach most of the time had a clean pocket in general and really didn't have any turnover-worthy plays. Yeah. And look at how well that game went.
So when it comes to the offensive tackle, just my brief take is basically if it wasn't for Max Mitchell and Fant like not being on this team and them not coming back, and we had the situation that we have right now, then I'd be very eager to get an offensive tackle. But I really do love Max Mitchell, and I feel like he could be a dime in the rough draft pick for the Jets. That he could be a literally long-term answer at right tackle. So I just don't feel like it fits the timeline for Laramie Tunsil because we do have Dwayne Brown this year and next year under contract, and he's getting guaranteed money next year. So Tunsil will not be a rental; it would be like a long-term thing, and he's going to ask for a lot of draft capital from the Texans, and it's going to be a lot of money to spend. So I think the Jets going to roll with the tackles that they have now. And when it comes to Elijah Moore situation, real quick, it really just rubs me the wrong way. Anybody that's been watching my channel, Elijah Moore is my guy, or was my guy rather. And going into the season, he's my favorite player. Got a signed jersey, all that nonsense. But I was talking to Jack about this earlier. It's just like, if the Jets don't want to trade him, but they're not getting him involved on this offense, then what's the plan? That's my
yeah, exactly.
What is the plan with Elijah Moore? If you're not going to use him in the offense, literally one target on the field 10 times, and you're not going to trade him, what's the plan? Now the thing is, the Jets have the leverage because you don't want to trade away a player that has 2 years left of cheap control after this season. You don't want to just give him away, and his value is not high right now. So if you want to trade him, I would not trade him right now. If you want to trade him in the offseason, give him the ball and then trade him in the offseason. Now's not the time because his value is not going to be high, and he still has 2 years of cheap control, and that is in the Jets' favor. So I think they're going to ride it out. I don't think he's going anywhere at this point. I think they're going to have to wait until the offseason and see how he does for the rest of the year. So, Caden, that was a great call. You brought up excellent points. We're going to get to the next caller now, my friend.
One quick thing I will just say on the offensive tackle thing, I'd like to roll with Mitchell. It's just the thing that somebody like Von Miller scares the heck out of me. And to all the Jets fans out there listening, wherever you are, remember, we only lost by 5 points to the team that has controlled us for how many years and seasons. We fought, Really, it came down to the fact that Zach just had too many interceptions, but we were in it. We gave them a run for their money. And if we can go out there and put up a decent fight against Buffalo and hopefully maybe knock off the Patriots in Foxborough, we're still going to be in a great position. And then we can go out there and dominate teams like the Bears, Lions, and we'll still be in a decent position. We're going through some growing pains, but we'll learn off it and we'll be all right.
Let's go, Caden. Excellent call, my man.
I try to
appreciate the sport,
be positive. It's hard though sometimes.
Hey,
Love it, man.
that's what we're here for. Caden, excellent call, and I appreciate it, my man.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
See you, man.
Peace out, bro. Yeah, he brings up a great point. And hey, how can the Jets help this Jets fan base cope with that loss yesterday, Jack? Beat them in Foxborough. Enough said. All right, next caller is going to be Abe. Abe from the car. What's up, brother?
What's up, Richie? What's up, Jack? Yo, first time caller, man. I'm actually so glad to be here. Yo, thank you for having me on.
Hell yeah, bro. We appreciate you.
I'm actually on my way to work right now, and just a quick heads up, I may lose like some connection for a little bit. Like it's still a little spotty right now. But I mainly just wanted to talk about just like my thoughts on Zach's performance and like what happened yesterday. Yeah, it was like absolutely no excuses. Like it was like I was excited to see him getting on that field yesterday and like, you know, try to get redemption against the Pats. But I think like first quarter, like there are some times where I'll see like how the team is and I can get like a good feel like, oh shit, this is how the game's gonna go. Overall, I mean, yeah, if you look at the stat line, like obviously, you know, 300 yards, like I was seeing a lot of people say that Zach having a 300-yard game would be sick, and like that was good. Obviously, you know, the three interceptions are just very, very bad. And can you blame that all on him? I mean, yeah, he said it himself in his post game media appearance. He was like, he said he's made those boneheaded throws. I mean, he might have been a little too lenient on himself, boneheaded throws, because like boneheaded throws is like something that a rookie makes, you know, not it's not a second overall pick who, you know, everybody's super high on and says like he's a film junkie, all this, and like, you know, all he does is grind, because in the offseason all we saw was Zach, you know, putting in the work with his teammates and trying to get himself better. I don't know what it's all about. I mean, it can also be on the offensive line, because I mean, yeah, like we've had a pretty much a makeshift offensive line like this entire season, you know, losing Becton in the offseason. And then he was playing pretty spotty first 2 games, and he gets injured. Bringing Dwayne Brown, all this. Max Mitchell, yeah, that was awesome. Honestly, like I feel like anybody hears that Max Mitchell, a 4th-round rookie, is starting at right tackle, they're thinking, damn, he's gonna be dominated. But he was holding his own. So shout out him, and I hope he comes back strong. Yeah, but with the game yesterday, I mean, look, everybody can obviously, everybody has the right to criticize Zach. Like Zach, after this game, he does deserve criticism, and that is very fair. However, you know, it's the same thing. You know, it's growing pains. He is a second-year quarterback. You know, he still has to learn a little bit. I think though, it's going to be a good challenge, at least Buffalo, because like say it was the Lions or the Bears, you know, like a team that is like granted they've showed like some stuff here and there, more so the Lions than the Bears, but like still, you know, like say our game next week was against the, you know, one of those teams, and then Zach goes out, has an incredible game. You know, all we're gonna hear is people going like, oh, he beat Justin Fields, oh, he beat Jared Goff in the Lions, like this and that. You know, so it's gonna be a good challenge, and I'm somewhat excited for it, because I feel like, you know, with how this team has performed, like yeah, they have a chance to bounce back, and I think they could, because that defense, like beginning of the year, I thought the defense was going to get just shredded and it was going to be up on the offense, you know, to start putting up points on the board, but it's the other way around, surprisingly, and I'm not too upset about that. But the reason why I'm a little excited myself about the Buffalo game is because I went to school in Buffalo myself, so I have a lot of Bills fans that are friends, and they're like, I mean, a lot of them, you know, they do like to, you know, talk on their shit and all that, but some of them, they're actually like pretty surprised. They're like, yo, I'm really excited for the Bills Jets game. Like I was watching the AFC East roundtable. I forget when it was when Dan was like in San Francisco or something, and he like joined randomly, and he was like, Richie, I'm super excited for the Bills Jets game. I wanted to go, but I am working this weekend, so I mean, I'm gonna see if I can. We'll see what happens. But overall, like I just want, like, if Zach has to be a check down Charlie and, you know, do all this, like make short throws, like this is the Bills defense we're talking about. This is like, you know, inarguably the best team in football right now. You know,
Yeah.
Like, so I expect a competitive game. Like, I don't want it. But I
I
would.
love
be
that you're
very
looking
upset,
forward to
obviously.
this game because that's the mindset that this fan base should have is like instead of being fearful of them, it's gonna be a good test. And like
Dude,
you said,
yeah.
if they're going up against a crappy opponent like the Lions or the Bears and they win, people are gonna be like, yeah, well, you beat a crappy team. So this is a big, big opportunity for this Jets team. And by the way, Abe, Jack went to Buffalo and I went to school upstate New York. So we are very familiar with Bills Mafia as
Hell
well, what their fan base is like.
Dude, overall, I mean, listen, before going to school in Buffalo, I absolutely hated the Bills and I despised them because like they were they were trash. Like they were so bad, but they would still like somehow find a way to beat us because obviously we were so bad at the time too. So it's like I'm like when I was a freshman, they actually drafted Josh Allen, and then they started like picking it up, and then we had to go through the Gase years and all that. So I just had to sit around so many Bills fans just taking all this shit, and I just
same, dude.
I didn't have anything to say. I had to just like accept it right there.
I was fighting Sam Darnold's better than Josh Allen like an idiot back then in college.
Oh my
so.
God, dude, so
We went
bad.
through it all. So, hey, give me your prediction real quick before we get to the next caller of this Jets Bills game because you're excited for the challenge. You're excited for this Jets game. Obviously, it's a tall task, but what are you expecting?
Yeah, no, I do have to get running because I actually have to get my flu vaccine ASAP before work. The deadline's today. Like, I feel like it could really go. I mean, at the end of the day, we're probably I don't think we win this game. Granted, like there could be like a slight chance, like if Jeff Ulbrich and Mike LaFleur develop some crazy game plan and we like somehow like come out with the win, that would be insane. I think like granted because it is the Bills, I think the score would be similar to the game against the Packers last night, something like a 24 to like 17, 24-14. If we can get in the 20s and like hold them like a 27-20, like a 24-27, like when we played the Buccaneers last year, like I would be very happy with that. As much as I would love a win, I'm realistic and I want to see like a competitive game. That's really all I need. And I would love to see, and I need to see Zach Wilson, improve on last week because like that can't happen again. It's growing pains, but it's like some of it is just inexcusable. Like it was an awful game.
I couldn't agree more, man. If we're competitive against the Buffalo Bills in the fourth quarter and we don't come away with a win, but Zach still looks good, that's what we want to see. I mean, obviously we want to win, but that's really what it comes down to. Well, Abe, it was a great time. Great to have you on as your first time caller. Hope to see you again next week for Victory
awesome.
Monday.
Wait, Richie, guys, had one thing before I leave. So
of course, bro.
one of my best friends from school that I went to Buffalo with. His name is also Richie. He also lives on Long Island. He is also a Jets fan. And I don't know what it is, but looking at you, like you kind of remind me of him. But he's Hispanic. He's Dominican, and I'm guessing you're probably Italian, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know, like a little bit of the mannerisms and just like the way you guys like
funny.
react to things. It's super funny. It's interesting.
That is funny. Richie from Long Island, Jets fan. I mean, hey, what that's all the connection you can get.
Dude, I would love to see you at a game sometime. But I'm gonna keep on following. I'm gonna keep watching the videos, bro. I appreciate you having me on. Thank you.
Abe, awesome call, bro. Good luck at work, and we'll hopefully see you on the stream again soon. All right.
Yes, sir. Have a good day, guys.
You too, bro. That was a great Jets fan.
Love it, man. Shout out to Abe, man. On his way to work, talking some facts. I love it, man. Appreciate all you guys.
I like his take on the how we should look at this game on Sunday and be excited for the challenge instead of being fearful of that game. Because obviously the Bills are the best team in the league. And if the Jets did have an opponent like the Lions or the Bears, to his point, and we beat them, it would still be like, oh, well, Zach didn't beat anybody good. And we're not expecting the Jets to upset the Bills here, even though that would be great. But if the Jets really want to show this fan base that they have an ability to battle adversity on the fly, I mean, this is their chance.
Amen, dude. This is, like I said before, I'm chomping at the bit to watch Sauce versus Stephon Diggs all game long.
Yeah, man. And Bills fans are ready for that too. Bills fans in the AFC roundtable are like, oh, Sauce getting his first test against the Bills. I'm like, oh, you're worried about a rookie corner. I love to hear that.
I love it, dude. And yeah, I think I'm not necessarily expecting a win, but I think Abe put it very well. Like, if we can maybe 27-20, 27-21, something like that. I don't know.
Jets.
Yeah, I'm not gonna, I'm not
Come
gonna
on.
I'm not gonna say the Jets are gonna go out there and get murked.
Yeah, I know.
I'm also very superstitious, and I don't ever like saying the Jets are gonna win. So
Yeah, of course. We're not going to say that here.
no.
Until the predictions come. All right, we're going to get to the next caller real quick. We're going to bang through these next couple of callers. We appreciate everybody tuning in, of course. We got Charles in there. What up, Charles? How you doing, my friend?
How you doing, Richie and Jack? Happy Halloween.
What's up,
Happy
man?
Halloween to you, bro.
Do you have any plans for Halloween, Richie?
No, just working like right now. And
here's my plans for Halloween.
Is that Batman?
The Batman.
Nice.
I know I haven't watched the two-part animated film yet, but I've read a bit of the graphic novel yesterday. I was so pissed after the Jets game. I was like, fuck it. Let me read some of this.
There you go.
It's really, from what I've read so far, it's really good. If you are a huge Batman fan, Richie, which I can tell you probably are, do you have a Barnes & Noble in Long Island?
Yes, I do.
We do.
Go to it, pick this bad boy up, and read it. Christopher Nolan, one of your favorite directors, he keeps his comic in high regard. He says here, The Long Halloween is more than a comic book. It's an epic tragedy.
Hey.
There we
I
go.
mean, Nolan's my guy. I got a Nolan book over there.
Shout out to Gotham City Football Club.
Yeah, I mean, I love it. You know how Jack and I got our anger out of the Jets game? Call of Duty. MW2 last night.
Oh, Call of Duty.
Little
COD. You were doing your duties?
We were doing our duties on COD, and we were murking.
I had to say that. Yeah, my dad was very upset with the game, too. He didn't like the fact the Jets made no adjustments on offense. I'm also going to see Black Adam this upcoming Saturday again for the second time in 3 weeks.
Did you like it?
I personally liked it, yeah. I mean, majority of audiences are liking it. I know some. When I went to lunch yesterday, a crowd came out of the theater and said, what did you guys see? Black Adam. How'd you guys enjoy it? Most of them said they liked it, but one guy was like, I hated it. It was horrible.
Yeah, I heard mixed reviews. I'm going to have to see it.
Don't listen to the critics. Listen to fans. Mostly fans. Like, if you go on Rotten Tomatoes, critics give it like a 40%. Audiences give it like a 90%.
That's typical with that type of movie, I feel like.
But I will say this. I know Ryan kicked me off for spoiling it, but if you haven't heard the leaks, Henry Cavill shows up in the movie.
Dude, I'm going to kick you out. You're spoiling it for everyone. You're a spoiler. Everyone, Charles is a spoiler. All right, Charles, what was your we're running out of time here, so I want to get your thoughts on the Jets and Bills game coming up.
It should be an interesting game. The Jets have I just looked up the stat. The Jets have the 6th ranked defense in football.
Hell yeah, baby.
And, Quinn and Williams having a great year. Carl Loss is starting to get his groove back. Sauce Gardner, DJ Reed are kicking ass to the corner position. Our linebackers are good. Quincy Williams doing his thing. CJ Mosley's doing his thing. Kwan Alexander's kicking ass. Michael Carter should have had that pick 6 against the Patriots. I mean, that was fucking bullshit.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's going to be the biggest test of the year for everyone, for the offense, for the defense, for the special teams, for the coaching staff. And if the Jets go out there and it's a competitive game in the fourth quarter, we can pull off the upset, then we are going to the Super Bowl. But if we lose,
FYI, you can tell Dan is on the AFC East roundtable. I'm a huge fan of Josh Allen. I know we're like, wait, what? You like Josh Allen? Yes, I do. I've been a huge supporter of this young man since his rookie season. Because a lot of people gave him so much shit because of stupid stuff he said when he was in high school, which to me shows you how pathetic people are. And he had great coaches. I mean, Brian Dable, who's the head coach of the Giants, FY, he's doing a great job coaching the Giants. Even though they lost yesterday versus the Seahawks, he's done a great job coaching Daniel Jones and the New York Giants football team.
Yes, he has.
And what was the offensive coordinator for the Buffalo? Mike Kafka, right? Is it Mike Kafka?
Yeah, I believe so.
No, it's Ken Dorsey. It's Ken Dorsey.
Oh.
Ken Dorsey's the offensive coordinator for the Bills. He's doing a great job with Josh Allen as well. Although I watched the rest of the Bills and Packers game last night, he did make some stupid decisions. But let's see what happens on Sunday. I can't wait for the game. I'm not giving up on Zach Wilson. I'm not giving up on the coaching staff.
There we go. All right, Charles, great call. I love to hear your positive attitude, and I love to hear some Batman and Black Adam content as always. So, Charles, we appreciate you, and hopefully I'll see you on Wednesday night for the roundtable. All right.
Hopefully, yeah. Same
All right,
here.
I'll
Take
see you
care.
then, my friend.
Take care,
Peace out.
brother.
Great call from Charles, weekly caller there.
Shout out Charles, baby. We love it.
Nico, what's up, man?
What's going on, guys? First time caller. I appreciate you guys letting me on.
Of course.
Cool to find other Jets fans to talk about, especially being born in the Bronx. You don't find too many. So, it's definitely cool to talk some Jet football. I just want to say, first of all, to anybody screaming, fire Saleh, fire Wilson, get rid of them. Just take off your green now. Just go put on a bandwagon New England jersey or go join Bills Mafia.
Preach,
Stop acting
Nico,
like you were a real
preach.
Jets fan just for
Thank
one
you.
game.
Couldn't agree more.
I love it.
But I did want to say, I think the first time I found you, Richie, was the James Robinson trade.
Oh, wow.
And we talked a little about Zach, and I completely agreed that one of his superpowers was being able to escape in the pocket.
Mhm.
But I think Zach, and I think anybody who's not realizing, even when we drafted him, that Zach needs to develop and he needs room to grow, is kind of just fooling themselves. You can't just take one game of a second-year quarterback and in a hard loss, and now everybody just wants to throw this kid to the wolves. And that's New York media, that's New York sports. We've grown up all around it our whole lives.
Yep,
but
expected.
I will say, and maybe I'm a biased offensive lineman because I play a little bit of left guard myself, but I do want to see Zach in those situations develop a sense of when he needs to get rid of the ball.
Yeah, that's a big step in his development.
And even if he doesn't get rid of the ball, boys, I would, I'd like to let him. Zach's a little bit more athletic than I think we give him credit for. And if he turns up the field, get 5-6 yards with your legs, slide. You don't got nothing developed out of the pocket, get rid of it, or take a few yards with your legs and get us down the field. But I do think, if he doesn't show any development in terms of noticing when he's under pressure, escaping the pocket and getting rid of the ball, and he keeps trying to force it downfield like he did at BYU, he might run into a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, man, you bring up a great point. And to talk about your point on the athleticism, it's unfortunate because he's not relying on it as much as you'd like. Remember the 4th and 5 yesterday on like the 35-yard line. If you watch the tape back, he steps up into the pocket and he fires a ball to Tyler Conklin in triple coverage where he had all day to run for the first down and slide. I mean, all day. And that's awareness. That is the ability to read the field and see its man coverage. So those are the little things that he needs to work on. And I think that these are fixable traits that he has. I think that the coaching staff has a big time challenge to really challenge Zach Wilson internally. And it's up to Zach himself because you can only coach him so much when it comes to these boneheaded decisions he's making. But I couldn't agree more with all the takes you have, Nico.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I just it's definitely a learning curve for him. And I don't know what other Jet fans are expecting, bro. But like, we didn't take a quarterback who played at a top 5 ranked school and he played in the pro offense. Like, you guys got to realize he played at BYU. Like, he played in a system where they gave him the keys. They said, go crazy. Get our school a little bit more notoriety, get us into a bowl game, and we'll be happy with you. The Jets took potential here, and a lot of people got to dial back and realize we didn't take somebody who was going to jump in day one and save this franchise from, where we were.
And it's a fact,
and
man.
Look at Trevor Lawrence stinking it up this year.
Yeah, man, and even exactly, a Trevor Lawrence went into a terrible system and is now struggling. Because he doesn't have he frankly doesn't have a front office that's better than Clemson. He was in a better situation at Clemson than he is in the NFL. It happens. And now we're, what I really wanted to ask is, because this is a crazy idea I've had in the past couple games, seeing as we're so competitive now, right? So a lot of the expectation for us this year was rebuilding. We took a lot of promising rookies. And it honestly felt like we're in a good direction of a rebuild. But I don't know about you boys. I wasn't expecting to be 5-3 by week 9 in a wild card spot.
Facts.
Absolutely not.
Right. So my thing is that with the window coming from years of like another year or two rebuild now to coming down to the playoffs, like, and being a contender in the AFC, let alone being a playoff contender in general, but we're competing in frankly, the better division. And, I kind of wanted to see where you guys stand on, now that our window is shortening, do we continue what we're doing and sit on just a rebuild mode and kind of just, whatever happens, or do we turn to more of all right, we're gonna develop Zach in a different way, but tune this roster to where we are gunning for this wild card and see what we can make noise in the playoffs?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think the James Robinson trade shows you that they are going all in this year, because past regimes would have been like, all right, we lost Brees Hall and let's just roll what we got because we trust the depth. But instead, they went out there when it's aggressive. I mean, it wasn't a splash move, but it was a necessary move to replace Brees Hall with James Robinson. So I think that this Joe Douglas sees a window and he sees an opportunity to end the drought, which is the longest drought in the NFL since 2010 of missing the playoffs. So I think the Jets going to be all in. I mean, we'll see if they make any moves before the trade deadline tomorrow. But I think that this front office and this coaching staff sees an opportunity, and we're the 5th seed in the AFC, to make the playoffs, and they're going to do everything in their power. And if it has to sacrifice the development of Zach Wilson and they just got to take the ball out of his hands a little bit and rely on the running game, then they will do that. And I think that's what it's going to be. What about you, Jack?
Yeah, I think that they're in too good enough of a position right now to not be all in on this season. It's the most promising season we've had in like 7 years. So, you got to be all in. But at the same time, I think you can be all in and still look towards the future. A guy like, James Robinson has the potential to be a Jet for longer than just this year. We'll see how that goes. I love Joe Douglas's, I love what he's done in the draft. So I think that, the glaring holes that we see this year, I'm excited to see how Joe Douglas is going to fill them this coming off season. So I still think that, the reason why Joe Douglas has, accrued all this capital and these picks over his time here is to be able to go out and make a midseason move, like getting a James Robinson. It sucks that it came to fill an injury, and we're not like the Rams, who just went out there and bought themselves a Super Bowl team last year. But I think you can be in the now and also think about the future as well. And I think Joe Douglas has showed that with the James Robinson pick. But I'm obviously not looking past what we're doing right now in the season. But I have every faith in the world that Joe Douglas is going to continue to nail draft picks as well.
Yeah, I agree. Well, Nico, this is a great call. I'm happy that you're just tuning into the channel and you're a new subscriber here. Hopefully you can hop on the stream again next week on Monday, hopefully celebrating a victory Monday somehow against the Buffalo Bills. And I appreciate your call, my man. It was a good one.
Appreciate it, boys. Looking forward to that Monday.
Hell yeah, bro. Have a good one, rest of your day. Happy Halloween, my friend. All right, another great caller. We're having some good callers today. This is a good live call-in day. Shout out to Hulk Smash Your Mom with a $5 donation. Any team is beatable. Jets need to stay focused. Zach needs to fix his vision on the field. E. Moore needs to be involved. Don't waste his talent. Let's effing go Jets.
Let's go,
your thoughts of this one?
Any given Sunday, baby. So on to the Buffalo Bills. Let's see what we can do. This is a big test for this offense, big test for this defense, big test for Robert Saleh. We need the special teams to get back on track because, you see the difference between good special teams and bad special teams losing the field position battle all game long yesterday. Let's see this Jets team play a good football game on all three phases, and it's possible, man. It's certainly possible.
Would love that. All right, guys, we're entering the final stretch here. We got 3 callers left. Thank you guys all waiting patiently behind the scenes. We appreciate you. We got Euphoria. What's good, bro?
Yo, what's good, guys?
It's my guy.
Good, you can hear me good, though?
Yeah, I can hear you good, bro.
Up,
nice
man?
To meet you.
Yo, what's good? What's good, Jack? What's good, you, Richie? Yo, I gotta say, man, keep up the great work, yo. You guys are really doing great in the Jets media, the whole community, brother. Like, for real.
I appreciate that.
Man, let me just say this. I feel like yesterday was just a really bad luck was horrible luck for us. I mean, literally the first game we had without AVT and Brees, like you could clearly see that like if we had those two, we most likely win that game. So it's gonna be tough these tough weeks. We really got to get to the bye as soon as possible. But I had us going 5-4 by the bye, so it's kind of looking like a reality. You know,
Well,
I hope,
unfortunately, you're going to be wrong because it'll be 6-3, but I'm sure you'll be okay with that.
I mean, I hope so, man. I really
I'm
do.
just kidding.
Bro, anything will make me happy if we beat the Bills, bro. To be honest, that will literally wipe that Patriots loss off my mind. To be honest, but I don't know, man. I'm really, the thing is, I don't feel no type. I just don't even hold no type of L to that game because the defense is really the identity of this team, man. If we hold it down and we just fix those offensive problems we have, we're gonna be fine. The defense is the key part of this team. They gave Zach a whole bunch of chances to make the plays. Zach is just, it just seems like.
Uh-oh. We might have lost Euphoria here. He's making a good point.
Yeah, man, that's upsetting. Damn it.
Yo, you're frozen, bro. Damn, he was in the middle of a great point.
Damn it. I'm telling you, man, the connection is off today. They don't want us talking about the Jets. They're preying on our downfall.
I wonder if it's going to refresh. Testing 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me? Euphoria. You there? Guess not. Hopefully he returns. We'll get him back in here. Aaron, thank you for the $5 super chat. Cole says, I want to believe Zach so bad. You cannot question the arm talent. Decision-making and simple stuff needs to be fixed. Little things, patience is thin. This is a great take, Cole. Listen, we all want to believe in Zach, right? And you cannot question the arm talent. If you do question the arm talent, I don't even know what to say to that. The question is his decision-making and making the simple stuff easy. So that's a great take, Cole. I cannot agree more. What's your thoughts of this super chat?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's all on point. Clearly, the raw talent is there. We just need to hone it in, and he needs to be better at protecting the football, and he needs to make every easy throw. It sounds like a tall order, but I really do think the mistakes we saw from Zach yesterday are fixable mistakes.
Yeah, I agree. Cole. Thank you so much for the super chat, my friend. Thank you so much. Euphoria in the chat says, phone heated up. Oh, man. All right, well, hopefully we get you back in the next stream. Or
right now.
Yeah, man, we appreciate everybody. And Aaron, who sent in the $5, and this is what you meant to say with it. Aaron with the $5 super chat says, Zach didn't have rhythm heading into this game. Let him throw the ball more and give him some protection. He'll become the QB we need.
Let's go, Aaron. I love the positivity, brother. Thank you for the donation.
I think that's what he meant to do. He sent the $5 with no thing to say, and then this is what he had to say. So before we get into Josh's call, who's waiting patiently, what's your thoughts of Aaron's take here?
I love it. I appreciate the positivity, and we need the optimism right now, and love it. Thank you, Aaron.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. I appreciate the donation, Aaron. Thank you so much, my friend. All right. We got Josh, who is a weekly caller, coming when we win, coming when we lose. This is why I love you. What's good, bro?
What's up, Richie and Jack? And so it was a tough loss, man. Tough loss yesterday. Really not too mad about it, actually, because we're not gonna win every game this year. This is one of the best years we had in a long time. So I don't understand why some Jets fans get mad when we lose a game like we 5-2 this season. So I feel like every Jets fan should be happy with that. Like, we're not gonna win every game. Like, y'all seen the schedule that we had. I feel like we had the toughest schedule this year, and we impressed everybody because we thought we was gonna be 2-5, but it's the complete opposite. And talking about the game yesterday, we started off good first half. Everything was good, but I don't know what happened second half. I feel like Zach tried to throw the ball more than running, like running the running backs and stuff. And yeah, I just felt like I really felt like they was catching on to what we was doing in the second half. Like I felt like we should have kept running the ball. I felt like we should have came in this game running the ball instead of trying to change it up and throw the ball. Because we've been having a lot of success with running the ball.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what was going on with that. But yeah, like overall, I'm not mad about this loss. Like I'll take it to the chest. We got other Bills next week. That's gonna be a rough challenge and stuff. I'm not gonna completely say we're gonna lose that game. I'm not gonna say that, but at the same time, like you really can't say that we're gonna win that game because the Bills are the Bills. Like they one of the best teams in the league right now. So yeah, man, like I feel good about the Jets this year. I don't care about the loss at all. I don't. So we just gotta keep pushing, fix the stuff that's messing us up. The penalties, like that penalty when Michael Carter caught the pick six, and that I was too hyped when that play happened, and like right when I saw the flag, I'm like, yeah, it's some BS. So
I agree.
But overall, man, overall we doing good. We just gotta fix some stuff. That's all. What y'all think about it?
Jack, what's your thoughts?
Hey man,
on
I think you made a lot of good points. I think that we're still having a good overall season. We had a bad game yesterday from 3 different phases. I think Zach's got to slow the game down, got to protect the football better, got to when there's nowhere to go with it, he's got to get rid of the football quicker, and in a way that nobody can possibly get their hands on it. Clearly, we're missing AVT and Breece Hall. I'm not trying to make the injury excuse, man, but here we are, another year where the Jets are just getting decimated by injuries, man. And it's not like it's players, it's key players that are both out for the season. So there's obviously going to be an adjustment period for that. So against a team that has, pretty much owned us for the majority of our entire lives.
Hate the Patriots. Always hate the Patriots, man.
Key guys on the offense, I wasn't expecting. I don't think anybody was expecting an offensive explosion this week. It sucks how it all went down, but we just gotta pick it back up, get through the Bills. Maybe everybody can use the bye week to reset. Get their bodies to where they need to be, and the schedule lightens up in the second half of the season. We got a bunch of winnable games on the schedule, so the season is very much alive. Regardless of what happens against the Bills, we're going into the bye above 500. So I'm hyped, man.
Yep.
We're still here, man.
Yep, that's all that matters. What about you, Richie? I know you feel the same way.
I agree. I think this loss, and Jack has said it multiple times, this loss hurts more just because it's against the Patriots. That's our long-hated rival.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, man, if you expected this team to just win every single game, and I know that the AFC East rivalry between that team stems deep, and we need to start closing the gap in the division, and luckily the Jets got that division win against the Dolphins to really get that whole. We had a 12-game losing streak that we got rid of against the division, against the Dolphins. We had another 12-game losing streak we had to get rid of with the Patriots. We have a good opportunity to end that in Foxborough in a couple of weeks. But I agree with your points, man. This is not a loss to really hang your heads over. We're a fan base that is going to criticize a team over every little thing. And I think that this Jets team has a big opportunity, man. We're have a chance to go. Well, we are 100% going to be over 500 heading into the bye week. And if you told me that heading into the season that we're going to be 5-4, potentially 6-3 with a big upset, but at the bye, I mean, you can't ask for a better situation, man. So, Josh, I love your optimism, man. Your energy is awesome every single week. We had 4 straight victory Mondays to celebrate, and now we had a humbling loss. We knew this was coming eventually, my man. We knew that we were going to be talking about a loss eventually, and and that's really what it comes down to, in my opinion.
Of course, and all the Jets fans that's just talking bad when we lose a game this season, I'm just talking about this season, not talking about in the past. This season, y'all need to stay positive. Just stay positive when we lose. It's okay. We're 5-2. It's crazy. Like y'all, like you gotta just be positive about that. We're not gonna win every game. We're not perfect. We're not the best team in the league. We are coming off of a decade of not making the playoffs. So y'all guys just stick with it. Real loyal fans gonna stay loyal fans.
That's your point, Josh. We can't expect excellence for this team yet. Like
Yes,
this team, the best part about this team, in my opinion, is that this is not a little short-term thing. Like, holy crap, we have to go all in and win this year, otherwise we're doomed because we're screwed for the future. That's not the case. Like this team is building with youth, and of course, the biggest question mark of the team to determine if we're going to be a long-term sustainable winner is Zach Wilson, and I get all that. But the players around him gives me a lot of optimism for the future of this team. And Josh, I appreciate the energy. We needed you to be the final caller to end off the stream with some positive energy, and hopefully, we'll be celebrating a miraculous victory Monday next week. Am I right?
Yes, sir. The season is not over yet. Y'all Jets fans, loyal Jets fans, just stay loyal. Even if you don't make the playoffs this year, it's still upcoming season. We're making progress every single week. Stay loyal, Jets fans. Stay loyal. That's all.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate
Josh,
you,
couldn't have
Richie.
said it better
Appreciate
myself.
you, Jack.
Hell yeah, baby.
Appreciate y'all, man. I'm gonna see y'all next time. Y'all be safe.
Josh,
Love. Go Jets. Go
love,
go
bro.
Jets.
Yeah,
yes,
man.
sir.
Yes, sir.
JTS, baby. Love it. Love it. I love the positivity from the call-ins, man, because we had so much toxicity in the chat today. But
expected.
The call-ins, we love it. Call-ins, we love it. We love it, baby.
I mean, Josh is here when we win. He's here when we lose. And he still is speaking facts, bro. Speaking facts. I couldn't have enjoyed that last caller more. Josh, we appreciate you, my friend. We'll see you on Monday. So that's going to wrap up the Jets Media Monday call-in show where we break down the entire game from start to finish. Tomorrow we'll be breaking down the film if it's out. And tomorrow is also the trade deadline. So we might be going live all day leading up to the trade deadline to see if the Jets make a move. And we'll be talking about Zach Wilson, of course, because he's the talk of this team. It's crazy, Jack. He gets his career high 355 yards, but he loses the game with 3 picks in bad fashion. So it's like me and Jack were always like, when is Zach going to have his game? 355 yards, 2 touchdowns up, but he had 3 picks and lost the game. So let's hope that he can fix those issues, and let's do it.
Let's do it, man. On to the next one. We got to put this in the rear view and on to the Buffalo Bills, and then a nice bye week, and then the revenge game against the piece of shit New England.
Who I have confidence in, by the way, we're going to freaking beat.
So much. I hate the
I think we're going to clip this. I don't give a crap. We're going to beat the Patriots week 11, okay? We're going to get a pick 6 from Michael Carter II, and it's going to count.
Love it. I love it.
All right, guys. We love all the love in the chat. We appreciate it. Anybody that agrees with Jack and I or disagree with us, it's totally okay. We are all here on the same page, and we all love the Jets. Thank you guys so much. It's time for MW2. Love you guys, and peace out.
Peace.